I finally got around to doing a complete update of my everything known about the Riot MMO document. This is the definitive guide to learning everything that we currently know about this upcoming project going into 2023. The link to the document is in the description. Since the last update, the main thing we have seen is the Kanon interview with GHOSTCRAWLER. I have a full recap of this interview in a recent video if you want the rundown of that. Other than that, we had some Necrit, speculation videos, and a few new tweets that were interesting. GHOSTCRAWLER has drastically slowed down his Twitter activity, and it is not looking like we will get an information drop in 22 at this point, as was mentioned in this tweet. That being said, the basic premise that I outlined in the original document still holds true for the direction I think they might be going with this MMO, which I will get into. So, jumping into the document, the first section is the information that I feel confident enough to call confirmed. Now at this point, until we get official news from Riot themselves, nothing is truly confirmed, which is why this section is pretty short. But I am still confident enough to make the judgment call of confirmed for the following information. First, they are making an MMO, and it is an MMORPG. The name is likely not World of Runeterra because of this tweet. The MMO is still pretty early in development, with GHOSTCRAWLER starting the project in late 2020 and most of the senior roles being filled in 2021. And several comments from developers that they are still very early in the project. Next up, they have made many comments about aiming big for this MMO and not wanting to be a niche product. They seem to want to be friendly to casuals and have made many comments about respecting players' time. This also aligns with the direction Riot has taken as a company historically, as they never aim small for their projects and they always aim to have mass appeal instead of targeting a niche audience. They have also said they're not going to rush this project and they will cancel it if it is not good. They will not release a bad product. Again, this fits with the MO that Riot has as a company. They have confirmed more or less that they want to do a lot of playtesting on the project, even in early stages. Some are concerned there will not be PvP in this MMO. This tweet more or less confirms that they will have PvP, and again, it wouldn't fit into the mass appeal category very well if they did not have a well-rounded MMO experience, and of course that includes PvP. Raiding and dungeons are very likely based on these tweets. Another big thing to put in the confirmed category is that I think they're going with action combat for this MMO. This is based on a tweet from GHOSTCRAWLER that stated he thinks combat in MMOs is outdated, which is probably a reference to tab target combat, and it is also based on several job postings that reference action combat, such as this one, Game Designer 3 Action Combat. Several job listings also mention Unreal Engine, so I think there is a very good chance this game is being developed with Unreal Engine. This is the direction most new MMOs are going, and it can drastically reduce development time. A holy trinity system of tank, heal, DPS I think is very likely based on this tweet. Rounding out the confirmed category, fishing, character customization, transmog, and quest hubs are all likely. Moving on to the information I didn't feel worthy of putting in the confirmed category just yet, but nevertheless does give some perspective on what direction this game could be headed. First, a big one for a lot of people, the camera perspective. For me, the combination of wanting to have mass appeal and reading between the lines on this tweet suggests to me that they very well might be going with a third-person perspective for their camera. Also, Unreal Engine 5 suggests that they're using an engine that is specifically built for third-person perspective. So I lean towards a third-person perspective for the camera. These tweets suggest to me a group size of 6 might be where they go. I like this as it gives 1 extra DPS in groups and should help queue times. And there is a lot more in this section regarding alts, customization, racials, and more. Take a look at the document for all of those details. Next, I'm going to speculate on what I think this MMO is. This speculation is based on the history of Riot as a company, and the many tweets, job posting, LinkedIn accounts, and other information I have poured over when making this information compilation. It is purely speculative, but based on as much real information as I could find. In general, I don't think they tried to break the mold with this MMO. There might be some innovation, but nothing drastic. As I said in my last video, I think there is compelling evidence they go full theme park with maybe a few sandbox elements sprinkled in. I think they go heavy into action combat and try to be the first MMO to really pull off action combat in an MMO. I also think they use the standard holy trinity of tank, healer, DPS, and possibly utility or support classes. I think they have a fairly standard progression system with competitive dungeons and raids with varying group sizes. I also think they put a strong focus on instance competitive PvP, and if they succeed at making a well-received PvP mode, I could see them attempting to push for esports viability in both PvE and PvP. As for open world PvP, I suspect it will be fully opt-in, but there might be some kind of guild versus guild PvP system, or maybe some PvP zones. I think they might make a few sacrifices with character customization and talent trees in order to have better balance and make the game more viable from a competitive standpoint. And I think they continue the Riot tradition of building games that have mass appeal. They are not aiming to only appeal to hardcores or casuals, they want everybody. And Riot has done that time and time again, similar to what Blizzard used to do. So I can absolutely see this MMO firmly taking the #1 MMO spot after release. I think it is time for a new king, and this is the project that can do that. As for a release date, the absolute earliest I would expect to see it would be 2026. Most of the current job postings still list R&D MMO projects, so I don't know that they have gotten anywhere near full production phase yet, and the average AAA MMO takes anywhere from 4 to 8 years to develop. Unreal Engine being the likely game engine, and this being an existing game studio, means they could theoretically be on the short side of the 4 to 8 years, but I would not expect it any sooner than 2026. So folks, that is absolutely everything that is known about the Riot MMO in 2023. I will be here when we get some new information. If you have not yet subscribed, consider doing so. And with that, I will see you in the next video.